girl. Everybody freaks out. Called him a hypocrite. Said he's inciting a mob. You know, LeBron didn't do that to incite a mob. The mob took "You're next" and ran with it. And then LeBron took the tweet down. And to tell a cop he's next for shooting a 16-year-old is not wrong. He's next. He's going to have to go to trial. He's going to have to prove his actions in a court of law. He's going to have to there's already an investigation. He's already on paid leave. I mean, so listen, there's been three shootings here in 2 months. The cops have killed three people here in less than 2 months. Three, two black men and one child. And listen, when the Bryant chick, you gotta okay, the Bryant chick was the one who called the police. You gotta understand. I live in Franklin County. Franklin County has the most police killings out of anywhere else in the United States. Anywhere else. Franklin County is the deadliest place to live when it comes to the police. They kill here more than anyone else, anywhere else. Now, telling somebody that they're next when they clearly committed a crime, there's nothing wrong with that. And these people saying they don't understand his logic. I don't understand your logic. LeBron is tired. LeBron has children. He has kids that child's age. And he said it before. He's worried. When little Bronny was 12, there was a shooting and LeBron was talking about it. He was like, we got to keep the conversation going because I'm worried about my child. My child's going to be driving soon. Bronny is over that age. And his other son. And his daughter ain't far behind. LeBron has the right to be angry because he's scared for his children, as the rest of the nation is. Look, the way I heard this went down, there was a couple girls that wanted to fight the Bryant girl. They came to her house, and let's understand this. This is not in the ghetto. These people. This is not the projects we're talking about. All right. So trying to label this, some type of ghetto thing, it's not what it is. These kids don't live in the ghetto. These are middle income black people. All right. So let's get that. This is black middle America that we're talking about. They didn't pull up to the projects. There wasn't a bunch of illegal activity in this area. What's going on? There's not a bunch of illegal activity in this area. So the Bryant chick got into it probably on social media with other children. Yeah, tired of it. And what she did, according to what little we know, was the other chicks decided to come over and jump her. Now, let's backtrack a little bit. Let's go back 2 months ago. What happened 2 months ago when this same scenario kicked off? These girls got into it on social media, and what did they do? They went and jumped another girl. And where did they meet her at? They met her at a Walmart. And they jumped her in a Walmart and they stabbed her and killed her. Okay? So, we got that energy going on. What up, Tone? Messed up situation. Yeah. Man, sad she let it 100% according to police uh, perception. He was defending the others. I don't think so. It's easy to say that. Okay, so I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to that. So we have that energy going. So we know kids are killing kids. That's just it, flat out. Because a couple months ago, the same situation, the same age group, kids are killing kids. Good morning, Star. Kids are killing kids. Okay. So when you're going to jump, okay, so these girls jumped this other girl and stabbed and killed this girl in Walmart. So whenever a bunch of girls are talking about jumping you and you're a girl, what are you thinking now that you saw what happened in Walmart with the? You're like, oh no, you're coming to my house. They came to her house in numbers. She went and grabbed a knife because she's thinking these girls could be coming to kill me like they did the same girl in Walmart. This is not far fetched. You're coming to my territory. The girl was on her property. If you come to my territory, you threaten me, and there's a bunch of you. After what I just saw, do you think I'm not going to grab a knife? I'm not going to walk outside and not defend myself the best way I can. If the girl had a gun, she would have grabbed that. Once again, this is middle America. These are not hood rats we're talking about. These are educated parents. All right, we're not talking about just a bunch of hood rats running around. The girl came outside with a knife. The other girls were ready to get it on. She didn't know if they had knives or not. When the police, and the thing about it is the Bryant girl who got shot by the police is the one who called. Now, if this girl was all that bad, why would she call? She called the police because she was scared. Period. Dot. She was afraid. She grabbed the knife because she was afraid. Okay? Listen, if you're not somebody who gets in fights, when somebody's coming to your doorstep talking about fighting you and there's a bunch of them on you, you're going to panic because fighting is not what you do. And when you panic, you're going to do anything. It's the fight or flight system. That's why. So listen, somebody with a weapon in their hand who is not like that type of person is more dangerous than somebody with a weapon in their hand who is that type of person, because they'll do anything to anyone because they're afraid. This girl was afraid. Yeah, she was afraid. They came to her property and tried to fight her. She's like, no, I'm not getting stabbed up today. I'm not doing it. I'm coming out with my own shiv. And she came out there and was like, what's good? She had already called the police. So she's outside protecting hers. Now, cops roll up, and as soon as they get there, they see the knife and they start shooting. Here's the biggest problem with that, it's called protocol. That's it, and that's it, and that's all. There is a thing called protocol in every police action. This is why Tamir Rice's killer should be under the jail. When the police bypass protocol, then there's a problem with that. The police jumped out the car and shot the girl 5 times. The police did not give any orders. That's the biggest problem. The police didn't jump out the car and say, stop what you're doing. The police, he didn't say, stop or I'll shoot. He didn't say, put down the knife. He jumped out and he started shooting. And that's it, and that's all. That's it. He saw a knife, he started shooting. There's a problem with that. These are children. And you can say he was protecting the other girls. Well, we need to see the footage. We need to. You get what you're saying, but I'm not even going to read that right now. Okay, so because I want to stay on my same train of thought before I read your comment. Okay, so okay, so we need to see the footage of when the cop rolled up. Now there's going to be two footage. There's going to be two. There should be two cameras that we should be able to see. One is on the police car, and the other one is on the cop. Right. So when the cop rolls up, does the cop see this girl charging at another girl trying to stab her? Does the cop see this girl wielding a knife and attempting? See, you got to understand, having a knife in your hand is not illegal. You got to understand, having a gun is not illegal. Having a knife is not illegal. And you got to understand the way the cops are trained. How many times have we seen somebody who legally had a gun and they're dead today? Dead. And the cops, what do they say? He had a gun. We've even seen people. Listen, one guy had a screwdriver in his hand and they killed him. That happened in Minnesota. He came to the door, he had a screwdriver in his hand, and when the cops saw the screwdriver, they killed him. What about the other, not too long ago, the guy was picking up garbage, and the cops said that the thing he had in his hand, picking up garbage, was a weapon. You have to understand the way these cops are trained is if anything is in your hand, it is a weapon. What about the other guy who was shot not too long ago, and the cop said, "Put down the gun," and the guy had both hands up in the air. And he said, "I don't have a gun." Then they shot him with a beanbag, and then they shot him for real because he dipped into his car. They killed that man for real, and he said he didn't have a gun, and he showed he does not have a gun. They said, "Put down the gun." He's standing there. All these cops are on him. He's like, "I don't have a gun." You have to understand the way the police are trained when it comes to black people. If you have anything in your hand, or if you're suspected of having anything in your hand, they have carte blanche to shoot you dead and get away with it. He had a so and so in his hand. The guy that they just shot here in Columbus, the 46-year-old man who wasn't doing nobody no harm, he had a phone in his hand and he turned the phone on because he was coming out of the garage. He was coming out of the garage. He turned his phone on so you could see his face. And as soon as he stepped into the light, the cops shot and killed him. Anything in your hand. How about the wallet? Remember that? 20 years ago? Guy had a wallet. I'm going to read your comments in a minute. The guy had a wallet in his hand. The cop said, "I thought the wallet was a gun." We've seen this over and over. Before you guys get on this, yeah, but she had a no. You're not even getting to the real point. The real point is police are trained to kill black people if they have something in their hand. And that's it, and that's all. There's no discussion about that because we've seen it over and over again for 30, 40, 50 years. We've seen it over and over again. That's why I'm not buying into that conversation. There is no but when it comes to this because that's how they are trained. If something's in your hand, they're shooting you. Get your hands out your pockets is the first thing they say. If they suspect you have, and even if you don't have anything, they still gun you down. We've seen this over and over again. So many people have lost their lives because of that. Philando Castile, he had a weapon, legally had a weapon, told the cop he had a weapon. The cop shot him. Why? Because he said he had a weapon. The cops are allowed to kill you if you have a weapon. I don't care if it's a screwdriver. I don't care if it's a toothbrush. They shooting people with cell phones. They're still doing that. That just happened a couple weeks ago, right here in my hometown. Okay, so don't even go there because I'm not trying to hear that. A girl is dead. A 16-year-old is dead. Now, once again, if they have the footage where the cop was, sorry, my nose was running, where the cop was pulling up, if they have the footage where the cop was pulling up, then we could see if his aggressive measure was necessary. Now, let me say this. If there's someone, I don't care how old you are, well, I do care how old you are. But if this girl was stabbing, stabbing someone, and that cop shot her, I have nothing to say about that. He was saving the life of somebody else. I agree 100%. She was in the midst of stabbing. She was already down forcing the whole nine. She was murdering somebody. You should have took her out. 100%. However, if this girl had distance on another girl, you have to understand this is a knife we're talking about. And we're not talking about somebody who is, we're talking about people who have the same physical advantage, meaning none of them are impaired. They can get out the way. This is not a projectile, this is a knife. And you clearly see that there's distance between the two. You can get out your car and de escalate that real quick. For one, there's a taser. For two, for one, there's your voice command. Drop the knife. Two, there's a taser. Bzz, boom, she goes down. That should be the end of it. Three, there's your gun. Boom, pop her right in the leg. She's not going anywhere. You shot her 5 times in the chest. You meant to kill her. Those are kill shots. The police train to kill black people. And before you say they don't, you need to start looking up some stuff on that in the internet, especially in Florida. They use our faces as target practice. And here's another thing: you guys don't live here. You guys may not know this, but let me educate you real quick. Let me just educate some of you who want to go on the side of the police, because it's not going to happen over here. And this is why I don't want to read comments that have anything to do with taking the cop's side of killing this 16-year-old. Unless she was actually stabbing someone. Let me say this: Columbus, Ohio is one of the most racist places that you can live. It is a fact that there are more people killed by police in Franklin County than anywhere else in the world. Excuse me, anywhere else in the United States. That that is a fact. I'll read your comments, but I want to stay on track with what I'm talking about. Okay? I'll read them. Now, that is a fact. I'm just throwing some facts out there for you guys. This is a fact. The Franklin County cops have killed more black people than anywhere else in the United States. This is a fact. You can look this up. The numbers will show that this is the worst place to live when it comes to police brutality. And once again, within the last 2 months, there have been 3 people dead, shot and killed by CPD. Let me educate you a little bit more, because I think some of you might be going off a logic that you just don't understand. And when I say you don't understand it, is meaning you don't have all the facts. Let me educate you again. About 20 years ago, there was a deputy who was on the news because he had a KKK hat on. Okay? And he was on the news, so he was making it very clear. He had his outfit, he had his cop outfit on and everything, and he had a hood on in one picture, and the next picture it showed his face. Let me educate you some more. I've been living here for over 30 years. And when I was 25 years old, we used to have Heritage Day here. Heritage Day is when black people would celebrate our heritage here in Columbus. So what they would do is have a bunch of nice cars, and they would have a parade that was sanctioned by the city, and they would go from the courthouse and go all the way down to Fifth Avenue. Now, when they had this, it was on Martin Luther King's Day. What the police would do was dress up in KKK full outfits, and get on a float and get right into our parade and hurtle insults at us. And would stand there. There would be like 30 of them all standing on a float, calling us names in full KKK gear. You gotta understand what you're dealing with. Now I'll go ahead and read some of y'all comments. And if you left, hey, that's cool. I don't care. You're not gonna get me to think differently. I get what you're saying, but everything happened in seconds, so the police just mm, back at yeah, what he was trained to do: shoot black people. Then the knife was given because it was get out of here. Not having that. Listen. The police are trained to de-escalate even when it's a knife. They're trained to de. I mean, come on. I mean, I struggle. When people try to make arguments like this. I struggle with their logic because they don't see cops doing the same thing to white people. You don't see black cops doing the same thing to white people. When white people have you don't see it. You see warnings. Okay, let me give you an example. Let me give you a recent example. A recent example. Okay? Recent example. I think it was early this year. It was a white cop, lady cop, right? Lady cop was addressing another female. Was in the female uh, was talking to her at the door, and a lady cop was talking to her, and the female drew a knife on her. And when the female drew a knife on her, she was coming at her. The lady cop started recoiling real quick. She drew her weapon and she gave commands. And the girl kept coming, and the lady cop still gave commands. Blow, dusted her. Another incident, the Asian dude. This happened last year. The Asian dude who had a knife. Cops rolled up on him. What they do? They gave him commands. And I think he assaulted somebody already. They gave him commands and they walked this dude a half a mile. And this dude finally jumped on one of the police officers. And they gave him commands and commands and commands and commands. Listen, I don't subscribe to anybody coming out talking about, yeah, it was a heat of the moment and the cop did what they're training. Get out of here. They treat us differently. I'm not interested in I'm just not interested in holding a conversation. I don't care if you leave. Unsubscribe to me. You're not going to convince me that this was right unless this Bryant girl was actually in the heat of battle and stabbing someone. Then and only then can I see the police officers killing her, shooting her 5 times. If she was coming at that chick, arm raised or whatever, and giving it to her, no, I don't think that's what happened. I bet that he rolled up, he saw the gun or he saw the knife, and then boom, because that's how they're trained. If they roll up on you, they're trained to shoot you. I live in Columbus, Ohio. I've been through too much of this. You're not going to convince me any other way. I've seen this too many times. It's just way too close to home for me to actually agree with a police shooting. They kill us way too much. Too easy. It's nothing to them. It's nothing. It's nothing to them. It's vacation to them. They want us to be afraid. No, she just had a knife in her hand and is not attempting to stab anyone. That's different. And I believe that's what happened. Nothing was justified in this situation. Not at all. Yeah, like I don't know what you're trying to, you're all of you are gone. There's no 3 people here, but I'm okay with that. Going by police perception from the academy, the opportunity, intent, and capability. Trust me, I'm not for the police, but this case is messed up. But since the knife is in her hand, was going to stop what? See that doesn't make sense to me. I'm gonna tell you why that doesn't make sense. If the police are called and someone has a knife in their hand and they are clearly not stabbing anyone, they're not stabbing anyone. Should the police shoot you? If the police are called and you're standing across the street hurling insults at your neighbor, should the police shoot you? At what distance should the police be allowed to shoot you if you have a knife? Because holding a knife is not illegal. Assaulting somebody with a knife is. That triggered a cop to kill. But yes, I agree in many instances when people have things in their hands, they should they should not be the victim of deadly force. Okay, well everybody's gone except one person. Clark was killed mistaken for a weapon. It's not justified. when you're in the act of murdering someone in front of the cops, that is a recipe for disaster. But the cop didn't have time to give commands while she was stabbing the girl. If if she was stabbing the girl. If she was stabbing the girl. Because here's the thing. Like, okay, we would agree on that. If the girl was stabbing the girl, then shoot her. You know what I'm saying? If she's stabbing the girl, then shoot her. But that isn't what happened. And I'm gonna tell you why I know that isn't what happened. Here's why. Here, you know what? Let me just go ahead and prove this right now. Here's why I know the girl wasn't stabbing the girl. Here's why I know that this was unjustified. I'm gonna show you guys in just a second. As soon as I get my act together here, and pull this up on my computer. I'm gonna tell you why this was unjustified. I'm not even gonna tell you. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you clear evidence. I'm gonna show you clear evidence why this was unjustified. If I can get it, if I can pull it up. Now, if I can find it. All right, hold on a second. I gotta find it. Find it. All right, so I just saw this information. I'm trying to see if I can pull it up. I'm trying to figure out where did I see it. All right, I might have to go to YouTube and find it, but I just saw it. All right, hold on. Okay. All right, so here is a picture. All right, body camera footage showed the teen swinging a knife towards another girl before fatally being shot. Okay, now, if this is true, if this picture is, well, the picture's true. But, okay, so this picture right here is what they're showing. This girl in the pink is the victim. This girl is the one that was shot by the police. They're saying this girl has a knife. They're saying she has a knife in her hand and was swinging it on this girl. Now, this is close contact. If she was killing this girl and the police shot her, I can almost understand that. If she was killing this girl, she was stabbing this girl, I can almost understand that. However, this girl right here was also seen on video and heard on video walking with the police to a police car, the girl in the pink, and saying and explaining how the other girl got shot. And she said she had a knife in her hand. Now, when this girl is walking to the police car, she has a purse in her hand and she's walking just fine. She is not stabbed whatsoever. She's not even hurt. She's not crying. She's not anything. Nothing. So something's not right here. Showed the teen swinging a knife. Now, like I said, if this is true, if she did have a knife and she was stabbing this girl, Like I said, this is close quarters. You can't, how can you not stab somebody at this distance? How is it possible to not stab somebody at this distance? I mean, you're just not good at stabbing people if you're at this distance. Heck, you're not good at anything but a knife. You don't go into the kitchen at all. But this same girl right here in the pink was seen and heard in the video explaining the situation, and she wasn't hurt whatsoever. There was no ambulance. There was no nothing. No, nothing. Something's not right here. Something's not right about this. If the cop was saving a life, that's one thing. But something is not right about this whole scenario. And I just saw footage, and I don't know where it was at, where that girl who was supposed to be the victim was walking away just fine. Okay, so here it is on World Star Hip Hop. All right. Here it is on World Star Hip Hop. Once again, this is the girl in pink. Okay, so this is the knife right here. Clearly, that's the knife right there. All right? If she's stabbing this girl, then the police, I would say the police were, I still can't say it was justified, but I still think there should have been some commands. I just don't think it was justified. I'm never going to say that unless she had already stabbed this girl. And like I said, if she's cranking on this girl, then you got to stop her. I still think that, look, I still don't think that shooting her 5 times in the chest was the answer. I don't think this child should be dead. I just don't. You're never going to convince me this child should be dead. Boom. Okay, so you got your knife. You got your close quarter, and the reason why LeBron is in here because he said you're next. All right. I gotta go soon anyway. I gotta go and drop a fridge off. Oh, you're still here. Okay, so let's show this video. Let's listen.
A girl, and she ain't coming on your life. She fucking came out. She came out and she with a knife earlier.
No, she just. That's what the police did.
That lady on the floor.
She came after me
With a knife.
Yeah, so he got her.
Okay, let me play this one more time.
She was a girl, and she ain't coming on your life. She fucking came out. She came out and she with a knife earlier.
No, she just. That's what the police did.
That lady on the floor.
She came after me
With a knife.
Yeah, so he got her.
Okay, once again, they are saying that close proximity, boom and boom, close proximity. This girl was stabbing this other girl. That's what they're saying. All right? Boom, boom. Cop rolls up. He sees this girl stabbing this girl. This is what they're saying. This girl, however, in the pink, was supposed to be the victim. Mind you, this girl in the pink was not alone. She didn't come to Bryant's house alone. She came to jump her. Okay? Bryant came out. Bryant is the one who called the police. The dead girl called the cops. All right? This girl right here is the would-be stabbed victim, but she was never stabbed. She was never stabbed, people. And this is close quarters. We need to see the whole footage of this because I'm still betting 10-1 that the police did not have to shoot this girl 5 times. This girl was never stabbed. Never. Not to mention, at this distance, she could have easily stabbed her. And I'm betting that before, look at Brian's side. This is a big, healthy girl. I'm betting before this girl came out when she came out her house and these girls saw her with that knife, they could have took off. They came for the business. If you come to my house and you try to jump me, I'm going to pick up whatever I can and defend myself. That's it, and that's all. That's it. I'm going to. I got plenty of knives sitting around my house because I live in a neighborhood with hardheads, and they want to test me every now and then. Want to try to walk in your house and all kind of stuff. I'm old. I can't move like the young people do. Okay? I'm going to protect myself. This girl was never stabbed. And that's the only way I can see this happening, is if Bryant was actually stabbing this girl. It is not illegal to carry a knife. Matter of fact, I think you can carry up to 6 inches. You can legally carry a knife. And I think this is a 6-inch knife. There were no commands issued. And once again, when you look at examples of the police, when they're confronting white people who are actually trying to kill them, and you can go and look, just recently, a white lady was confronted by another white lady. White lady police officer was at a white lady's house. And that white lady drew a knife on that police officer. And that officer was in close proximity to her. She was talking to her within arm's reach because I think she was either trying to get in her house or she was going to issue a citation. That lady came out with a knife out of nowhere, and the white police officer reacted and gave her commands while she was backing up. Drop it, drop it. And then she popped that white woman. She was giving her commands the whole time while recoiling and holding her gun and letting her know that you're about to get shot. And it happened so fast. It's on WorldStar. It's a video of the whole thing. And bang, she shot that woman because she knew that woman wasn't going to stop. So I got to go, guys. But if this woman was stabbed, Brian had her up on the car. How close? You have contact with each other. She had her on top of this car. This woman couldn't go anywhere. If she poked this woman and was stabbing her, I still don't think 5 times in the chest was necessary. One shot could get somebody off of someone real quick. And just for the record, when you shoot somebody in the chest, people, that is called a kill shot. And for another record, the police brag about who gets the kill shot. This is a fact. Once again, Columbus has the highest rating of killing Black people. Franklin County itself, these are CPD. They have the highest rating of killing Black people in the United States. 3 people dead in a few months. 2 men, one was shot in the back by a detective who said the detective said he had a gun. That happened about 2.5 months ago. The guy was going into his house. He had groceries in his hand. And the cops were there for another reason. But the detectives don't have cameras. So all you can go is by this guy's words. He was like 25 years old. He was shot 5 times in the back. How are you a threat when you're shot 5 times in the back? Another man was coming out of garages, 46 years old. They have videos of that. There is no excuse for shooting that man whatsoever. He wasn't a threat. He didn't run at you. You told him to come towards you and come out of the garage. He stepped out of the garage just as calm, casually. He was actually there to visit a friend, and somebody called the police on him. Said he was suspicious. That got him killed. Because he was in a nice neighborhood, but he knew the person whose house he was at. And somebody called the police on him, said he was suspicious. The guy wasn't suspicious. He was there to see his friend. But some people saw he was in the wrong neighborhood, and they shot, and the police shot and killed him. Period. Dot. This guy didn't have anything in his hand except a cell phone. Whenever you have something in your hand, the police are automatically programmed to kill you. And you can't convince me any otherwise, because I've seen it way too many times. And I'm going to tell you guys something else. A lot of these police officers are soldiers. They're young. You'll find a lot of the older police officers will say, I never even drew my weapon. A lot of these police officers that you're looking at now, they are young police officers. Some of them are soldiers. And if you really get deep into it, I mean, there's so much that goes into this. If you really get deep into it, you can start looking at what's going on, especially with the Iraq war, these wars that these guys are coming home from. Um, a lot of the times they, would end up shooting children because they had something in their hand. I am ex-military, people. Okay? I've never been to war. I was in during wartime. And I got friends who have been to war. And I did a video on this before. Once you go into basic training, it changes who you are. You are taught to kill. Period. Dot. You're taught to kill. I was trained to kill people. Okay? When you go into the military, I was in the Army, the first thing they do is change you. They change your mind, the way you look at other people. They give you several weapons to kill people. Your purpose is to kill people. A lot of these people, a lot of these guys who are coming home from these wars are trained to kill people, and they're trained to kill of any age because they're a threat to them. You could be carrying anything. If they don't recognize it, they will dust you off. This is why there's been an uptick in police shootings all over the country, because a lot of these guys are soldiers. Who still thirst for combat. You better recognize that. This is not a casual thing. This is why when you ever confront it with one of these, I don't care if you know the cop. I don't care. Tread lightly. Tread lightly. Wait till 202. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.